All right, thanks very much. Well, the Independent Democratic Conference has grown by one. An aide says that Senator Tony Avella from Queens has become the fifth member of the group of breakaway Democrats that share control of the Senate. And joining us now, our political analyst, New York Post state editor, Fred Dicker. Fred, good to see you again.
Thank you, Liz.
All right, this is kind of big news, and it's got to be sort of a real dashing blow to Senate Democrats.
It is. Andrea Stewart-Cousins, who leads the Senate Democrats, takes another blow here, weakens the Democrats, who have a large number of the senators. If it wasn't for the fact that there are these breakaway senators who joined this Independent Democratic Conference, it's good news for Dean Skelos. It means that the Senate Republicans, even if they lose a seat or two in the November elections, could still hold on to this coalition government. And I think it's interesting because a lot of people don't think, Liz, that this would have happened without Governor Andrew Cuomo behind the scenes giving his okay. Tony Avella, like Andrew Cuomo, is a Queens Democrat. Cuomo originally from Queens anyway. And the governor is the head of the Democratic Party. There's no doubt about that. And I don't think Avella would do what he did unless he at least got some sign-off from the governor's people.
I read an analysis that talked about how this was also perhaps a killing blow to any hopes of the progressive policies that the state and some of its newest Democrats, like the New York City mayor, were interested in bringing to the state.
Well, that's not necessarily the case, although it could be read that way. Progressive, put in quotes, usually means higher taxes and more regulations. And in fact, Jeff Klein, who's the leader of the Independent Democrats, supports higher taxes. He supports Mayor de Blasio in New York City and his whole program. But that said, the agreement that Jeff Klein and the Independent Democrats, Liz, have with the Senate Republicans is that if one or the other side wants to kill a measure, they can do so. And while Jeff Klein and Tony Avella and the other Independent Democrats may want this kind of progressive so-called platform, it's going to be blocked now because they are part of this coalition with the Senate Republicans.
And do you expect, as some do, that this will be the start of a trend and that there will be more defections?
I don't. I think that if there were going to be a lot of defections, they would have occurred by now. Let's just be clear that by joining this Independent Democratic group, Tony Avella gets access to power that he didn't have before. He'll probably get a committee chairmanship. He can get bills passed that couldn't be passed if he was merely a member of the Senate Democratic minority. And he may get some more money because Jeff Klein and the Independent Democrats have a big war chest, whereas the main group of Democrats, while they have a pretty good-sized war chest, it's diffused amongst 24 or 25 members. So there's probably a lot of self-interest involved in this as well, and it wouldn't be unusual to find a politician at the state capitol who may be putting self-interest first.
Well, that's why I wonder if it could lead to more defections as others see the bennies here.
Interestingly enough, one senator today said he would like to join the Independent Democratic Conference, another Democrat, and this is Senator Ruben Diaz from the Bronx, but the Independent Democrats said, no thanks, Senator, we don't want you. So they don't necessarily have a right to join.
Okay, that's good stuff. Thank you, Fred. And Fred's on the radio live from the state capitol every weekday morning, 10 to 11 on Talk 1300 AM. All right, let's see what's happening outside.